Authorities in China are preparing to send a pair of giant pandas to the San Diego Zoo, resuming a symbolic diplomatic gesture called panda diplomacy, which had recently been impacted by tensions between Beijing and Washington. The number of pandas living in U.S. zoos has declined sharply over the past few years as tensions have ratcheted up between China and the U.S. The Memphis Zoo and the National Zoo in Washington, D.C. returned their pandas to China last year after their loan agreement for keeping the animals was not renewed. The 4 pandas in Zoo Atlanta are currently the only ones remaining in the U.S., but their loan agreement will expire later this year. Pandas have played a symbolic role in U.S.-China diplomacy since formal ties between the two countries were established in 1972. The first pandas were sent to the U.S. shortly after President Richard Nixon's visit that year, and several more were sent to various U.S. zoos over the next decade, usually on 10-year contracts. But questions about the survival of the so-called panda diplomacy have been raised over the past few years as ties between the two countries have deteriorated. However, during his visit to San Francisco last year, Chinese President Xi Jinping hinted at the continuation of this gesture, saying, "Pandas have long been envoys of friendship between the Chinese and American peoples. We are ready to continue our cooperation with the United States on panda conservation. Although the conservation status of the giant panda is improving, there is still much work needed to ensure they remain on the path to recovery with healthy populations and flourishing ecosystems," San Diego Zoo Wildlife Alliance said. 1,800. That is the total population of giant pandas remaining in the wild, according to the World Wildlife Fund. The animals are classified as vulnerable by the International Union for Conservation of Nature and feature on its red list of vulnerable species. Chinese president hints pandas may return to U.S. Forbes, National Zoo Pandas Leaving D.C. for China. Ending a program Nixon started 51 years ago, Forbes.